Hey guys, um, Leah Lewis will be with us in a second. I'm trying to figure out how to pin this. There we go. Cool, cool. You're watching someone who has a very elementary concept. Hi, Claire, of technology. I have butterflies, you guys. I feel like I'm about to go on a date. Um, Leah's joining. She's so talented. Ah!
Hello, how are
Hi.
you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. It's so nice to see you
That's
today.
so amazing. You look amazing.
Thank you. I actually put on makeup today. I tried.
Isn't it so weird? I haven't put on makeup in like a month, and I was looking at and I was like, I don't know how to do this anymore.
It is quite weird. It
Yeah.
is very, very weird. I used to do the whole fake eyelash situation, and that is completely beyond my comprehension now.
I stuck this on. I just looked at myself and was like, I feel like I haven't seen this woman in a long time.
I feel like that's me with blush and color on my face? No way.
Oh, I don't know how to use blush. It's like the most embarrassing thing
It's
ever.
either too much or it's not enough. Like
Mhm.
it's kind of hard to gauge the in between.
Yeah. If we have like a makeup artist guru in this chat, please teach us. Tell us what to do.
Nice. My sister helps me with that. It's funny. She's younger than me, but I remember she taught me how to use a beauty blender. I remember I tried using it dry once, and she was like, "You don't know what you're doing."
Yeah, yeah. My cousin does the same thing to me where because I used to not wear sunscreen and she got very
No, you used to
yeah.
not wear sunscreen. Come on,
It's
Sarah.
like
That's
I know, it's
that's
like the
the
basics
one
thing.
thing.
Yeah. We're learning. I do have a surprise for you because I
What
saw
is
your
it?
story the other day.
Did you make that yourself?
No, I didn't. Girl, no.
Dude, let me tell you, honestly, it wasn't worth it. Like, it was really, really tasty, but
Mhm.
it cost so much to order the boba pearls and the condensed milk, and then I made it too sweet. And I just want to say, like, if anyone ever wonders why their boba is so expensive, it's really hard to make.
Oh.
Like, it's hard to make at all.
That's good to know because I looked at how to make it and I knew like as I was doing I was like I can't do this. This is beyond my ability. But I was very impressed that you made it.
If you hand make it yourself, it takes a really long time. But I just did like a pack of boba bubbles where you like throw it in
Mhm.
for 10 minutes, but it was hard. It was actually a lot.
How do you say it? Do you call it bubble tea or boba? Because apparently there's like a few different ways to say it.
I call it I call it boba tea or bubble tea.
Okay,
My
I
boyfriend
do
calls it
too.
milk tea. It
Yeah,
has a
well, I
bunch of
call it
different
bubble tea, and
names.
then my friends were like, "Sarah, it's boba," and I'm like, "Oh,
Bubble tea. Well, I don't know because I've actually had bubbles that are clear that pop before
mm-hmm.
in like a jelly kind of substance. So that might be bubble tea, but this is specifically boba because of the tapioca pearls.
well, we're learning here. We're
We're
educated.
learning. You learn
We're
something
learning."
new every day.
Well, viewers, this is Leah Lewis, the star, the amazing shiny star from Netflix is the half of it,
Oh, you're so
directed and
sweet.
created by Alice Wu. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. You will probably cry, bring tissues. Good movie to watch in quarantine. It touches on a lot about loneliness and connection and what it means to find love. When I interviewed Leah, she had an amazing quote that I'm not going to try to paraphrase because I will butcher it. But it was something along the lines of, "It's not a love story, but it is. It's a very different kind of love story."
It's kind of like a self-love story. You know, it's interesting because we see Ellie, this really isolated character who has never really experienced life outside her box and outside of her routine. And that is like taking care of her dad and writing papers for people at school and honestly kind of getting bullied in high school on the side sometimes by people who really misunderstand that she's Asian and she doesn't really have the community around her. And she doesn't really see herself at all. She just kind of is a character in her own life until she meets these characters like Paul and like Aster, who finally see her for something more than that. And then finally, she starts to find that self love. And I feel like, other than her falling in love with Aster and I think platonically learning to love Paul, she learns to love herself through all of these different situations where she sees that she can actually handle herself. And she wouldn't have gotten to know herself had she not met these characters too.
It's so beautiful watching Ellie through Paul's eyes because he doesn't see her as like
Oh, you're so
underdog. He sees her
sweet.
as like this amazing, like the talent show scene was is so just beautiful. Like the entire movie was beautiful. But you
Thank
yourself,
you.
you're a singer, and I'm actually kind of mad because I saw that you have been performing at Taylor Swift on Instagram Live, and I
Ah,
missed
yes.
it.
I do. I mean, every once in a while I get really bored and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna go on live and play. But the funny thing is, it's like I never really finished these songs or have played these songs before, so I'm just kind of putzing around on live. But yes, I do sing. I write my own music, but I haven't put any out.
I mean, that's amazing. Well, we
Thank
know where you're
you.
going to go in the next track of your career.
We'll
Um,
see. High School Musical, baby. I don't
High School
know.
Musical, it's your turn to shine.
I
Um,
wish. Oh my God, I'm so past that. I wish.
we got a ton of fan questions, which
Sweet.
is so amazing because this movie has been out for I want to say a month.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, there's like a bee. There's like a bee in my house. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, continue. Sorry.
um, I completely forgot. Oh yeah, so the movie's been out for I want to say like a month now. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I
Wow.
talked to you like right when or like actually I talked to you I think it was like a Friday before it came out. Um, let's talk about the reception because it's blown the internet away.
Oh my God, dude. I remember reading comments and just listening to people's stories was like bringing me to tears. I was like sharing it with Alexis and my boyfriend and Daniel and Alice, and it's just like seeing how interactive everybody is with even just the way that people were interpreting things with their art and reaching out and making videos and stuff. It was just like to see that it touched people like that. It was really a really big privilege, and it was really overwhelming. It was like, oh my God, like wow, people actually really cared about this movie, and they noticed the little details, which I think as an actor and just any kind of performer, it's such a treat to see that people understood what you did and why you did what you did on screen.
I love the Twitter threads are like here's like all like the symbolism and like the details in the
Yeah,
movie.
and
I'm just like we have scholars on the
that's
internet.
so
Like
Alice
it's
Wu, you know?
amazing.
It's like, thank you for noticing that Alice Wu is an incredible director and writer, and she pays attention to details like that. And without those details, this world wouldn't have been so fully fledged.
Absolutely. And because, well, something that I remember I had a question to ask you in our interview that we didn't get to, but I saw that you had to learn how to speak Mandarin for the movie.
I did. I did have to learn how to speak Mandarin. I remember I started a couple months before just because that is a language that, I've taken lessons when I was younger, but unfortunately I just didn't retain them.
It's
My
hard.
mom made me take lessons and I just wasn't ready for that. It's quite a difficult language. And I was pretty daunted by it, but I worked through it and Alice was so wonderful and patient and she guided me through all of it. But my Mandarin coach was incredible. We worked every week, like twice a week.
Mhm.
And it was a really cool experience to be able to speak a language so dear to the storyline, but something that I personally do not speak.
It's a really difficult language. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I am from China and moved here when I was 6. And, like, my own Mandarin is a little bit questionable. My mom looks at me and she's just
It's
like it's like,
hard. It's
it's
hard
so
here, especially when
hard.
you're not practicing. It's such an intricate language with so many intonations.
Yeah.
It's very difficult,
And it
but a
really goes to
beautiful
show.
one nonetheless.
Yeah, I think it really goes to show how important like community is in that sense. Like we need to be around other Asian Americans just to really show off our culture because it's such a beautiful one. And whether you're discovering it now or later in life, like I think I love movies like this because it really shows like the diversity of the Asian American experience.
I think so too. And I think, a lot of people have in their mind a picture of what the Asian American experience looks like. And for some people, it is kind of the typical, oh, like the nerd, which Ellie would be classified as to the regular eye who don't really know her that well. And her life is so much more rich than that. And she has so many more qualities and attributes that make her so far beyond any stereotypical thought of what your typical Asian would be, maybe in a small town. And I think it's important that these stories are told and that these pictures are painted because I mean, like, my story is completely different than Ellie Chu's, but it is also an Asian American experience. I mean, your experience is also completely different, but it's still an experience, which it's really cool seeing nowadays those are being told more in the industry because it's like, yes, finally, like we get to explore that and see people that look like us and don't look like us as well, but are centered around the same culture.
Oh, it's amazing. What is like your dream role as we're talking about, embracing new stories? Gonna pick any. Is it superhero? Is it action? Spell your
I,
secret.
I think my dream role would probably be a really quippy, sarcastic badass who has to kind of like physically exert herself in all situations. I'm thinking like super bad, but
Ooh,
in in my own stylistic, maybe Chinese kind of way, maybe like a ninja type situation.
that'd be fun.
Yeah, I don't
Should
know.
we start
I would
pitching?
love to play like an action character. I love working out and just like physical roles. I feel like being in an action film would be really cool.
So we need to find you like a action role where you can sing and do stunts.
Yes. Oh my gosh, there's actually this new show on the CW coming out called Kung Fu, I
Ooh,
think. And I'm like, hello, I want to get star on that. Like that looks really cool.
I love CW shows. Like growing up,
Me
I watched
too.
The Vampire Diaries, like Gossip Girl, like all those shows. I
Oh,
just never
Gossip
watched.
Girl, The 100? Are you kidding me? I watched that show
Mhm.
and I was like, this is crazy. Like this is awesome. Actually, like a show like that would be really,
Yeah.
really cool to be on, where you're fighting for your life constantly and your hair's in braids and you have dirt all over your face.
Was there like one show or movie or, anything in particular that made you want to start acting?
I think for me, it was never a particular project. I mean, I grew up watching certain projects that definitely inspired me. I remember like really clinging to Singing in the Rain when I was younger. That
Mhm.
movie was like my go-to acting, singing, dancing. Like this is what I want to do when I grow up. But I feel like for me, rather than projects, it was just more the feeling of how it feels when I deliver when I am acting and the rewards I get from performing and kind of seeing like the audience's perspective and their take on it and their enjoyment of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And you are so, I guess I can't call you young because we're the same age, but like
We are, I love
we are
it.
the same age. What is your sign?
My sign, I'm a Pisces.
Okay. I can see that.
Wait,
That
wait,
makes
wait.
sense.
No, I'm a Sagittarius.
When's your birthday?
December 9th.
Okay.
Sagittarius, yes.
Okay. I'm, but you're so young and you got to work on what I'd say is like it's a project that means so much to people because like I read all the reviews. I saw that it was included in like the Times. Like was it like the best movies of this? Like this movie means so much to so many people, and Alice Wu herself has been so just like an icon in this community. What was it like working with her?
She is such a treat, dude. She has not only become one of my closest friends, she's like a confidant. And I feel like, everyone has a first in their life. And I feel like she was my first when it comes to the first time I was ever able to step into the shoes of a character and really work with someone in such a close, intimate way.
Mm-hmm.
She has such a gentleness about her and such a patience that she has when she works with each one of her actors. And it's kind of tailored to everyone's needs, which I found to be just so wonderful. I mean, she kind of knows what it's like to be in the actor seat. And she just held my hand through it all. And she really kept me present, which I feel like was so rewarding for me because I have that now. And she just had me soak in every single moment. And she just has such a brilliant mind. I feel like I really trusted her, and it was easy to trust her, which is so freaking cool. Like, I feel like we had that relationship right off the bat, and I trusted her taste, her style. And it was kind of like walking in blind, but just knowing that Alice was like driving the cart totally fine, which was not always easy at times, but it was really rewarding in the end because Alice is incredible.
She is, and I'm so excited for to see like what else she comes up with next, and also what's
Yeah.
new. Like I think it just brought my faith back in the entertainment industry of like these are the movies that are so important and that touch so many people. It's become kind of like an internet like cult favorite now. Like
Oh,
I see people with like the half of it like usernames like Twitter headers. Like I see so much of it on the internet all the time, and I feel like like the overwhelming feedback that I've gotten from like my own friends who are Asian have seen it is that like stories like this almost never get told, and it does like that particular experience so much. Like it just gives it justice, and it's so grounded and it's so amazing.
Thank you. And that's everyone else too. I feel like everyone really helped paint this world in such a realistic way. I think the life that Alexis brought to Aster too really just solidified a lot of the different voices in this world of Squamish, and especially Daniel, who played Paul.
Mm-hmm. So how were the pork tacos?
Oh my God, they were so good. We actually made ones by ourselves in real life, and those were incredible. I think I've made it like 3 times now in my own household. When we made it on set, it was actually really tasty, and I was like, what the heck? Like, this is really, really good. I never expected it to be that good, but they made it really tasty.
They're onto something.
They are onto something, and I'm like, Alice Wu, hello, chef, miss.
I just checked the questions box, and there's a lot of questions in here.
Oh, sweet. Hi, guys.
Let's see.
My big water jug.
There's one that says describe your co-stars in 3 words.
My co-stars? Okay, Alexis is bubbly, energetic. Wait, that's the same thing. Bubbly, funny, loving. Daniel is loving, patient, thoughtful.
I like that.
Wolfgang is, Wolfgang, remember Trig? Trig is actually very thoughtful, precise, and educated.
I love the scene where he's just like, yeah, it's okay if you're in love with me. Like, I thought it was such an underrated comment.
Oh my God.
He played that so well. Like, he was so in the moment.
He's so funny. You know what's funny too? I was actually watching a recommendation from my agents to go see Tootsie with Dustin Hoffman. And there's a scene in Tootsie where he's like still dressed up as this woman, and he kind of mutters the same thing. What does Ellie say? What does she say?
I need to rewatch it.
She says, "Oh, great," or what did she say?
I remember the dad just like spraying, because that's also such like an Asian father thing to do.
Crap, I forgot what she says, but she says something, and Dustin Hoffman says something very, very similar. And I didn't know that. And then I brought it up to Alice the next day, and she's like, yeah, that was an homage to Tootsie. And I was like, wow, I didn't know that. I wish I could have quoted that, but it was, this is a nightmare. Yes, someone just said it. This is a nightmare. Thank you. Who said that? Gucci Zhang. Gucci Zhang. Thank you.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of questions in here about when is the LH2 summer book club list coming out? Are you starting a book club?
Oh my gosh, no. Okay, so we're not starting a book club, but for those of you guys who are listening, I challenge you to read Remains of the Day, No Exit, The Stranger, which can be some of these are like kind of dark, so like if you don't really like them, then that's okay. But I did, and they're kind of referenced in the film. What's another one that's really good? Did I say no? I said No Exit. Yes, and do No Exit. Start off with those 3. I actually had to read No Exit before we even did any chemistry reads. Alice had me read No Exit and kind of study up on that and then chat with her about it.
It's a heavy play, and it's an influential play, because we see it quoted all the time. So I majored in English, and I'm quite a nerd, but you never realize like how influential a piece of work is until you see it in reference to like other pieces of work. And I think that's also what I like so much about this movie, is that it's such a standalone film, but it draws in so many influential factors from just like other works of art. And I think that like that is the spirit of art, just like collaboration and taking on a message from someone else and just keeping that alive.
Absolutely. I feel like Alice Wu kind of like weaved together this blanket of like really amazing quotes and stories in the comments and just literature that is, it just plays so well into the story. And I feel like when I read No Exit, I was really able to draw the parallels between all the characters staying within their own confines of what you would say. I mean, hell is rather for all of them. And it just helped me kind of draw closer to the world. I was really able to see like the limited mindset that these characters were in, compared to the ones that were in the play as well of No Exit. And it was just like, wow, like that's awesome. There were so many Easter eggs in here that I feel like Alice left behind for people to kind of pick at and latch on to.
And people found them. I have not seen the internet go this crazy over like Easter eggs since like Taylor Swift dropping an album,
I
which is
love
like
that.
such a good compliment.
That's
Um,
awesome.
oh God, so many amazing questions in here. Will there be, what is LH2 doing right now in quarantine?
Ellie Chu or Leah Lou?
Both.
Okay, so Ellie Chu, her life is quarantine. So she's just like, she's at home doing her thing. I'd imagine she's eating Popeyes with her dad and reading and writing and probably not hanging out with Esther, but maybe like texting her or sending her letters because social distancing. Leah Lou in quarantine is doing the same thing. I'm actually social distancing very heavily because I have a couple people on the compound where I live who have autoimmune disorders. So we're being very, very careful here. But I am reading, writing, singing, eating so much food. Can someone just like put the reins on that? I've been working out in the garage. I've been walking around a lot and just taking like road trips and trying to enjoy this downtime and stay connected. Leah Lou's been chatting with her friends.
And that's, I mean, you're doing everything that we can do. This is such an interesting time and kind of like grounding ourselves and like figuring out, what is important to us. What do we want to carry into this next chapter?
Mm-hmm.
I found actually some of my friendships have gotten stronger in quarantine. Now that we can't really, hang out or, go out to eat, we really have to like just find time in our schedule to just like FaceTime people. This movie
Yeah.
came out, I think I already said this, but like it came out at such a important time when we're figuring out what does connection mean to all of us.
Yeah. I
And it
mean,
brought so
I
many
would
people.
I would hope that people would call their loved ones after this movie and be like, "I love you. I care about you. This
Oh,
is
I
how
know
it is."
that would be so cute. I actually called my cousin like right after I finished watching it, um, when I was preparing to interview you, and she just goes,
Oh,
"Sarah, it's 2 a.m."
oh, you're
I
like,
don't
but I
regret
love
it.
you at all times. Come on
I don't
now,
regret
girl.
it, but no, it was amazing. And I'm so thankful that my editor, Claire, I think she's still in here, let me interview you for it because it was such an, I like tell everyone this to the point I was like, guys, that was my favorite interview I've ever done. And I'm kind of sad for all the rest of my interviews having to live up to that standard.
Oh my gosh, no, we had so much fun that day. I'm so happy that we got to do this live. I've definitely been looking forward to this since we've got off the phone since that interview.
I
It
know.
was more
And
like
it's,
a chat with your girl, and I was like, "Hey, you're my age, and you're Asian. Like, hey, we're connecting on all these
it's
different
amazing.
things."
I know. I feel like we're having like a very like socially distanced sleepover right
It
now.
is. That is what it is.
Yeah, we have our boba, we have our snacks, we have two of
Oh,
just other friends here with us. Um,
nice.
I mean, so you're doing everything you just mentioned in quarantine. Are you watching anything in particular?
Right now I've been watching Friday Night Lights. I know that I'm like a couple years late. Whoops. And I've been watching a lot of movies. I actually just watched this really, really gorgeous Korean film called Burning. And
Ooh.
have you heard of it?
Mm-mm.
It is this incredible movie that is based off of this very, very short story. And I'll send it to you in private. Like it's kind of hard to explain, but it's like a very
Yeah.
mysterious Korean film. And like I've kind of been looking up like different films from different festivals, and I'd say like also just kind of exploring the Korean film world with my boyfriend a lot. And that's what I've been watching more than television shows. I actually have a movie club with my friend Tunji, who is on Nancy Drew with me, and my friend Cameras, who's on Batwoman. And every week we meet together and we talk about movies.
That is the purest thing I've ever heard. I
And
love that.
we try around here.
Actually, for Teen Vogue, it was right after Parasite won Best Picture. I had, because I love South Korean cinema. I think it's like they have
It's an
amazing movies.
art.
But for Teen Vogue, for Teen Vogue,
Teen
I
Rogue.
I know none of us know the publication. But I made a list of like South Korean films that I will send you. It's also on Teen. If you search, I'm sure South Korean movies, Teen Vogue, you can find the list. But I
Yeah,
also
please
just
do.
love watching movies from like other cultures, and it's
I
like
do
I feel like
too.
movies. There's something for reading, but like I've always loved watching movies. I felt it was like not, it wasn't so much as an escape as it felt like it was an introduction to like other worlds.
Hmm.
And that's my soapbox on the movie
No,
industry.
I just think like I think it's great that we have platforms like Netflix to kind of allow us to see films that are peeks into other cultures and other worlds. I mean, like it's such a different acting style too. So I feel like when I sit down and I watch like a Korean film, I'm like so absorbed in the world because I'm not really focused on anything that I know. I'm really just focused on like the storyline and just this brand new kind of art that they,
Yeah,
oh, a question
I
sticker.
know. I'm like learning how to figure out Instagram Live.
Uh,
What does Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month mean to you?
oh, it's it's cool that we have this. I feel like I feel like this month sheds so much light and so much history on being Asian Pacific Islander that a lot of people don't really know about. And to have that outlet and to have this voice be so loud right now in the community is like it's really amazing to be witnessing all of this right now. It's a really cool month.
And yeah, it's really and it's I don't even know how to say it. Like I feel like the conversation around what does it mean to be Asian in America has been louder than ever, just kind of with everything like COVID going on. And it's so nice to see this community, take something that is so devastating in so many ways and to kind of take that in stride. And it's like, how can we help one another? How can we spread love and like positivity during this time that's so lonely and so difficult for so many people?
I think so too. I mean, there's absolutely no place in this world for xenophobia or everything that is going on right now. And with any race at all, period, that covers all boards. But I think what is important is kind of what you said, being of service to one another and really focusing on how we can protect each other and unite and make each other feel safe rather than focusing on the latter, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually kind of cool. I feel like the Asian community as well has kind of banded together and shed a lot of light within the Asian community in, kind of using each other's voice to create one voice to go forth and protect each other
No.
and shed light on all the communities.
Um, I mean, you said it so well. It's so much like it goes back to like community and connection and like how can we support one another during times that no one was prepared for this. So
Yeah,
in a
no
way
one
it's
was prepared for this.
no so like in a way it's like it's very humbling to kind of realize that like we have more power than we may realize, right? Like every single one of us watching this have a platform of some sort, and we can use it to like spread love and spread positivity and share the things that we love, like our favorite movies. And it's such a beautiful thing, and to witness moments of like kindness and joy and empathy during this time has meant the world because it really shows you this is what's important right now.
Absolutely. I mean, this platform right now, it can be very educational. It can also go many different ways. And
Mm-hmm.
to be using it for positivity and, you know, encouraging people to unite as well. I think it's amazing that people are doing that and we are able to do that and also choosing what can really educate people on what's going on around us and for all races and for all cultures as well, not just for Asians.
Absolutely. What was your favorite?
Question sticker.
It really just like slides
I'm like, hey.
in. What is your favorite memory on set when shooting the half of it?
I think my favorite memory on set was okay, so everything that has to do with the train station was shot at this mini hotel that was right across from the train station at the location we were shooting at. And I think that whole section of time was my favorite memory, that whole section of the week, because we were all in this little hotel. We were so close. It was like a house, honestly. We were all in these rooms, and it just felt like we were all like one little family in this little house together. And it was such a fun time. I remember being like, hey, Alexis, like, good morning. Like, hey, Daniel, hey, Wolfie, let's get coffee in this little town where there's actually like no coffee to get. So we're going to make coffee. Oh, well, maybe let's like walk down to the corner store, which is like a mile away. Like, it's like the little things like that. I'm like, those are my memories that I enjoyed living my life with them around me.
I love that you guys have just developed like such close friendships while shooting this. Like
Oh,
watching you
I
guys like
love
interact on
them.
like Twitter or like Instagram is just so precious.
We have so much fun. I really feel like Daniel has become like my brother and Alexis is like my sister. Today's her birthday, actually. Shout
Happy
out.
birthday, Alexis.
Wish her birthday. And also, we're just, I mean, I feel like the moment I met her, her and I just like right off the bat, we're talking about the deepest things and just really understanding where we both came from. And it was like, dope. Like we connect. And it's going to be this way for a while.
Well, I hope she's having a very wonderful birthday.
Sweet Angel, I hope you're out there. We love you.
She deserves she deserves it. What animal would you describe yourself as? We're getting
Uh,
hard hitting journalism questions here.
wow, you guys, I think about this all the time. I think I would be a lion. Like I'm definitely have like cat like tendencies, but could also like rip you to shreds kind of thing. Like I have that like fire, but I'm also very I can be playful and like chill, you know.
Are you a Harry Potter fan?
I'm like a medium Harry Potter fan. Shoot. But what would you be?
I was gonna say I feel like you're describing now I'm blanking on the name. Gryffindor.
Yes, I would be a Gryffindor. What would you be?
Honestly, somewhere between a Gryffindor and a Hufflepuff.
I knew you were gonna say Hufflepuff, and I was gonna be
Yeah.
like, if you say Hufflepuff, dude, like you are not a Hufflepuff. Don't say that. You're Ravenclaw at best. Don't do that.
Yeah. I like to think
You're
well, so I'm
Hufflepuff,
very
like, are you Hufflepuff Rising or like what's up?
that needs to be like a thing. It's like what fraction are you? Because it's hard to pick. Just I feel like I change houses like a lot.
I'm Gryffindor. I feel like I can have like Slytherin impulses, but my Gryffindor always wins out.
Yeah.
I'm totally Hufflepuff, like when it comes to just emotion, and I feel like I'm really Ravenclaw with the things that I hold dear to me.
Yeah, it's like there's a little bit something in like all four.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about which Harry Potter house I'd be in for like a while. I remember like just, like growing up like reading those books and just like devouring them. Same with like the Hunger Games and like Twilight and
I
everything.
love the Hunger Games and Twilight. Oh my gosh, you know Twilight is like it's old now. Like it's been
I
a second.
I know. I was talking to like a high schooler, and I was telling her like, yeah, like I remember when I was in high school, I like went to Barnes and Noble in the middle of the night for like the Twilight book. She goes, "Oh, how old are you?" And I was like, "Ooh,
You're like what? Like it's
yeah."
been that long?
Uh, do you have any secret talents?
Do I have any secret talents? I have a lot of secret talents.
I feel like you're just a very talented person, but I don't know if any
What?
a secret.
No.
You're like a very
What's a
obviously
secret
outwardly
talent?
talent.
I used to be really good at origami. Like I used to make like gorilla origamis and like giraffes. I can't do that right now, so don't request that. But like I used to be really good at that. I guess that's like a secret thing.
I mean, I never learned how to make origami, so you're one of
Oh,
them.
it wasn't like I was like making gorillas on the fly. I was definitely like following a book.
I love Sudoku. Sudoku. I can't talk.
Sudoku.
Yeah,
Sudoku's good.
yeah. It's a good like brain exercise.
Yes.
Choose one movie that best describes your life. That's a tough question. There's a lot
Can
of
I choose a
stuff.
show?
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like I would choose like Girl Boss.
Ooh.
Have you
Uh,
seen that?
yeah, yeah. With Britt Robertson.
Yes, she's so
Yeah.
good. I don't think it would be as chaotic, but I think like definitely that kind of energy of like having to work hard, but also like trying to have fun, like that. Well, not really so much in quarantine, but I feel like before quarantine, it was like work really hard and then like play a little hard, but then like work really hard. Like not play hard in the bad way, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Um, my cat decided she wanted to join.
Oh my God, she's so cute. Oh my God, look at her little like furrowed brow.
She's just kind of. She said
What's
she.
her name?
It's Meredith.
Oh my God,
She
Meredith, her
watches.
face is so wide. I love wide face kitties.
Have you watched Grey's Anatomy? I named her because I'm a huge Grey's fan.
Mare. Oh my God, that's amazing. She's so cute.
Welcome to Teen Vogue, Meredith. This is your moment to shine now.
Hey Meredith, here's your cameo.
Who influenced you the most in your acting career?
In my acting career, I'd honestly say Jennifer Lawrence or Emma Stone. I feel like I've grown up watching their careers and they're just, I know like Jennifer Lawrence is just a couple years older than me. I feel like I've just watched her over the years and she's influenced me in a way that is, I don't know. I really marvel her. And I feel like a lot of the choices she made career-wise and the way she portrays characters, it's really respectable.
Yeah, I loved because I remember first kind of like learning who she was through The Winter's Bones, and I thought it was such an incredible
Yeah.
movie. Like it was,
Winter's Bone was like, what the heck? I remember watching that when I was younger and being like, oh my God, that girl's incredible.
yeah. And Emma Stone, like from like Easy A to like La La Land and everything that she's working on now.
Yeah, oh my God, I
Yeah.
love La La Land. I
So,
feel like that was a modern day Singing in the Rain. But also, it would have been cool if it was someone that we didn't know that starred in that. Just like a random actor to like follow
yeah.
true to that storyline.
Yeah. I don't want to tap on the question because apparently it blocks your face, and we don't want to do that. But somebody wants
Oh,
to know, and they said, I need to know. So this has to be answered. What is your favorite ice cream flavor?
raspberry sorbet.
Okay, there you have it.
I love oh my God, oh dude, I want raspberry sorbet in this moment right now. That is so what I need. Thank you for reminding me I need that.
They knew you needed ice cream.
That's what I need.
Yeah, I went through a period where I like didn't like ice cream for some reason. And like I refused. See, that's the look that all my friends gave me. Like they would ask me, "Do you want to get some ice cream?" I was like, "No," and they're just kind of like,
All ice cream? What kind of ice cream are you talking about?
it was like right after college. I think I remember just being like, I just don't like ice cream. I think I said it was overrated, and I said it like people. I like went on like this anti ice cream like I don't even know what you call it for like a year, for, like no reason.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
how do you anti ice cream? That's
I was anti.
insane.
It was yeah. I can't even explain it, and it wasn't like, and I can't even remember really why. But then like I had it a year later, and I had to like crawl back to my friends and be like, "Do you guys
Maybe you just weren't into it. Maybe you
yeah,
just weren't into it, and that's completely okay.
yeah." Do you have any like food cravings that you just randomly get?
I get cravings for seaweed. I get cravings for like
You say seaweed?
salty things. I love ramen. Oh my God, I'm always craving these like Ichiban like onion teriyaki fried noodle packets that are like 85 cents and so bad for you, but I love them so much.
So good. No,
And
I love
I'm always craving like macaroni and cheese. How about you?
hot Cheetos.
So good. I have to eat those so slowly though. Do you like spicy food?
I love spicy food.
I
Yeah.
can't eat spicy food. I'm such a little baby.
You know they have like the extra hot Cheetos.
Do they have like the kind of mild for like baby tongue hot Cheetos?
Maybe you can I don't know, like break off half of like a regular Cheeto and then half of like a hot
Dude,
one.
I actually eat hot Cheeto bags over the course of like 3 days. Because I can only eat a couple in one sitting and then my tongue's like burning and then I'm like, okay, I have to eat some more tomorrow and the day after.
I don't have like any self-preservation when it comes to food. Like hot stuff, like I'll eat even though I know it's gonna hurt my
Oh
tongue.
my
Like, also like
God.
sour candy. Like I will eat sour candy until there's
Dude, okay, wait. I'm gonna show you my favorite snack that I've been eating right now. It is literally the best thing in the world. I don't even know what these are called or what flavor this is, but it's literally incredible. Do you know what these are?
Mm-mm.
I don't know what they are either. But I see them at the Asian Mart and they taste like a full meal, and they taste like seaweed, and they taste like chicken bouillon cubes, and they're so good. They're so
Uh,
good.
I miss Asian markets. My mom always used to take me when I was younger. Because that was also
It's
where I got bubble tea. Like you would like, I feel like that was like a rite of passage. Just like you just get your little bubble tea and then you just wobble along.
Oh, that is the rite of passage. You're like, Mom, it's $8, but please.
Yeah, make this for me. But I mean, like as we talked about, you can't really make this yourself. Like it's you can make coffee at home, you can make smoothies at home, but you really have to be committed if you're making like boba for yourself. And I respect anyone who is. I'm just not one of them.
Absolutely, dude. I like forced myself to eat the boba. I was like, we're gonna make boba tea today, and it wasn't enjoyable. I ended up throwing boba out because I just like it was so sugary. I was like, like this is really tasty, but like I'm sick.
Yeah.
I have to remake it again, even though I wasted most of the boba. Whatever.
Well, you live and learn. I have faith in your next time.
Living la vida loca, baby.
Maybe that's our post quarantine plans is that we learn how to make boba together.
Yes, we should do a boba cooking class, but actually do the pearls.
Oh yeah.
They're
Yeah.
really hard. They're really hard to make.
We can get like maybe like a panel of judges, like Alice, other
Yes,
people.
miss, you're on to
And,
something.
I love like cooking competitions, even though like my own cooking skills like very, very mediocre.
I
But I
love
love
cooking. It's more fun when you're cooking for people, though. Like, I feel much more gratified when I'm cooking for like a lot of people.
What do you cook for other people?
I like making a really special kind of like shrimp scampi pasta with like a really nice tomato sauce, tomato, garlic, parmesan. Oh, and what else do I really like making? Oh, I mean, I don't really make this anymore because I don't eat chicken anymore, but I make such a good baked chicken with mashed potatoes and asparagus I love it. It's so good. I just make really classic meals and I just kind of like switch up the seasoning. I make curries a lot too.
Ah, that sounds good. I think we're getting everyone hungry right now.
Yeah, guys, mix it up. I hope you guys go get off this call and cook something.
Yeah. Call your loved ones, cook something, hug your
Make
cat.
them a dish. Yeah, make someone
Yeah.
soup. Make your rounds. Drop people sleep off. I feel like it's a really cool thing to do right now.
Yeah. Rewatch The Hat. I mean, I think that's honestly what I've been doing in quarantine is just like cooking, watching stuff, going out for walks, and it's just like repeat.
Yeah, I'm like, so I'm gonna have my walk at 4 o'clock, and then again at 4:15, and then I'm gonna walk again at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. I started doing the Chloe Ting challenge, and that is rough.
Is that the booty challenge?
It's like the 4 week summer challenge.
I think someone told me about that, and I have yet to check that out.
Yeah, no, that's how I heard about it. Is that my friends were like everyone's doing this, you need to try it. And I was like, okay, like I work out fairly regularly. Like this, I'll be fine. And I was not okay.
And you're like, I'm good. Dude,
They're
there's
really
so many flies that just came into my house right now.
Do you still have the bee?
Nah, the bee left. I left the door open, but in turn, the bee left and more flies came into my house.
Somebody asked, can you guys speak Chinese? So we can speak Chinese, but I don't have
I
enough
can, but honestly, I don't
conversation,
feel comfortable enough
yeah.
speaking proper Mandarin.
No, I don't think we're not there as far as like conversational.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're gonna have to stick to English. But
Sorry,
maybe we'll
y'all.
get there someday. We have hopes. What type of characters? What are some types of characters that you want to play in your career?
I'd love to play a character that has to physically exert herself in situations, like really badass, gruff, tough character, like pedal to the metal. I'd also love to play kind of like another coming of age story, but in I think a darker world. I think like a more quippier, like Ladybird, dry situation. Um, Something that kind of explores after Ellie Chu's life.
Yeah.
I feel like this was the first chapter of coming of age. There's so many different chapters of coming of age, but I feel like this one was the first chapter. I would love to start like the second chapter of something like that, where things get a little darker and the stakes are a bit higher for people, and people are really coming into their adult shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that would be really cool.
Yeah, I think something that obviously a lot of people are curious if there's going to be a sequel. I don't know if you're allowed to, or if you even know. But yeah, I actually think you would be really great in like a dystopian, like Hunger Games survival type.
Oh, I would love that. I'd be like, Chiff, like grab the gun, like whatever, like something like that.
Yeah, like the Purge. That's like super like dark, but also like action packed film.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. Stuff where it's high stakes and it's just gritty, Like I love stuff like that.
Like a Zombieland, Hunger Games,
Zombieland would be dope. I feel like that's the perfect amount of action, but it's very quippy, sarcastic. The world that it's in, it's very well written as well.
Yeah.
It's very humorous. I really love that dry comedy.
Yeah, Emma Stone killed it. The second one was amazing with Zoe Deutsch, and just
so funny. Oh my gosh, she's so good.
So amazing. You guys were sending in so many amazing questions. What is your go-to song?
My go-to song? Okay, you have to customize that situation. Like in what situation? Mm-hmm. I have so many go-to songs.
What is your go-to song when you're about to go to an audition?
Okay. It's Sunflower by Post Malone.
Great song.
I remember I listened to that right before I auditioned for something, and I didn't get that job, but it was so meant to be because I got something right after it. And I listen to that song every time I'm on my way to an audition just to remind me, like, good things happen, bad things happen, but like it all works out. So it always puts me in like a really good state of mind.
Isn't it amazing? I actually think about this quite a bit. Like, when we don't get something that we want, and, at the time you feel like a failure, you feel just bad. But then, like, in a few months, you realize that it was lining up something that was meant for you on the way. And I love hearing other people, like, share stories like that. Because I think more or less, like, everyone has dealt with rejection on some level. And only to realize that, like, rejection can also be such a blessing sometimes.
Dude, it's nice because like you don't know what the future holds too, and not everyone gets what they want. Mm-hmm. But I think looking at things in hindsight is a really beautiful thing because you make use of the situations that you have in your life and you end up winning because of that. And you end up kind of appreciating what you have now and seeing that, like, I don't know, it was kind of worth it. And that maybe you didn't need that because it wasn't meant to be. It really wasn't meant to be. Which I feel like it's so funny. I almost didn't get to do the half of it. It almost didn't happen for me because of like scheduling conflicts. And that was a situation where I was like, is this going to be meant to be or not? And it ended up being that. So hold on, give me 1 second. My AirPods are dying, so I'm going to take them out.
How are we doing on time? I don't have any clocks near me.
It's 3:48. We're okay for now.
Okay, perfect. But I mean, so scheduling. I can't imagine anyone else playing Ellie too. Like you are that. Like that role was made for you, and I think anyone who watched it.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I actually, when I first approached Ellie Chu, I kind of had a cuter, more upbeat version prepared for casting directors. And after just kind of plugging away and chatting with Alice, she kind of explained to me, like, that's not Ellie Chu at all. Mm-hmm. She's actually much more introverted and quite literally the opposite of what your impulse instinct would be. And it's interesting hearing that you guys feel that way, that it could be me and the only me to play Ellie Chu, because at first it felt like, how am I going to play Ellie Chu? Oh my God. But Alice really helped me find that part of her that really is me, just kind of a more secretive part of me.
Yeah, because I remember when we talked for Teen Vogue, you mentioned that like, you yourself are a little bit more like, bold, for lack of a better word, than Alice. But the way that you're able to like just ground yourself in the character and really like bring her to life is so amazing. Like I think I was even shocked by the very obvious differences between you and Ellie?
Well, I think too, like, I'm a bit older than Ellie as well, but there's a part of Ellie that is very quiet and isolated and I think fearful in a lot of situations. And I feel like no matter what you are, and no matter who you just tapping into that sense of fear and that sense of adolescence and not knowing what's going on around you, and experiencing things for the first time, that's something we all experience. And it was pretty easy to kind of slip into those shoes.
Yeah. I don't know what's happening with the audio here.
I feel like your audio is good. I hear your audio.
Okay, cool. I'm seeing comments in here
Oh,
that the
sorry,
audio,
guys.
I can't. I wonder if it would work. Let me grab my AirPods. I just almost sat on my cat.
No, not Meredith.
No, Meredith, forgive us.
Meredith is like, get off me.
She had her moment to shine, and now she's annoyed with us. But I mean, I feel like Ellie discovered a lot of firsts in the movie. You know, she finds her first really grounded, genuine friendship. She really found like her first love. What are some firsts that you're still learning? Because not even in just like, don't be weird about this, you guys, but just like we experience new things all the time as we're learning and we're growing. And I feel like you have such like an open curiosity about you. Like, what are you learning? What are you wanting to do that you haven't done before?
Oh, hold on. Give me 1 second. Your audio went bad because it's an AirPod situation.
Yeah, they ruin everything. Thanks, guys. Is this better? We're back.
Yeah, we're back. Okay, sorry. Can you repeat that question again? Sorry.
Yes, I'm gonna make it shorter this time. The half of it is about a lot of firsts. First friendships, first romantic relationships. And you seem like someone who like loves to learn and to like explore the world around you. Like, what are you interested in discovering or learning, or like even something that you're learning now?
Right now, it's weird because I feel like quarantine has kind of put a veil over what my current goals are just because I'm in quarantine and I'm like kind of alone and doing my thing. Right now, like I kind of look forward to looking towards kind of being more gentle to myself. I work a lot and I feel like I'm a very go, go, go kind of person. And this quarantine has made me really slow down and, kind of piggybacking on what you were saying earlier, it's kind of made my connection stronger with my friends. And that's been a really awesome thing, to be here right now and be getting to work on that and still be okay at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important. And there's so much like conversation around this, but like we're constantly trying to, achieve something and work on the next project. It's very rare to let ourselves just be and kind of enjoy the present. And that's something that I think that's our generation is learning because we're constantly being told like we need to do this or like like there's a whole like Forbes 30 under 30 and we put so much pressure on ourselves to succeed. But I almost feel like sometimes when it comes, we don't really get to enjoy that.
Very much so. I feel like, especially in our country, it's a very goal-oriented kind of society that we live in. But especially right now, I feel like instead of putting the pressure on ourselves to, be superheroes at the moment, like it really kind of involves being gentle during this pandemic, and doing what we can for ourselves and making sure that we're healthy. And I think just kind of keeping others in mind right now, doing what we can to shed light on those kind of matters.
No. Social media has become such like I almost feel like tool isn't like a big enough word to describe like how influential social media has become. I know I've been able to connect with so many amazing people and like causes and movements and stuff just on like Twitter alone. And I mean like social media was really how we kind of became friends. And yeah, and I hope everyone watching this like we're able to use our platforms for education and for good, because you never know who's on the other side of the screen. Um,
Absolutely. I mean, social media is kind of the way that I've been able to find out a lot of people's stories and kind of what they're going through. And, just to touch briefly on this, even the George Floyd situation, I found out about that through social media. And without the proper way to be educated, I wouldn't have been able to see something like that because I don't really watch the news that often. And I feel like using our platform for good and spreading the good word of encouraging people to take the action that they can is really important for us to do.
it's such a necessary bridge to education. Because, yeah, I feel like, I genuinely believe that people in this world are good and they want to do good things and they want to help. So, like, kind of giving them the tools and the resources to be able to take that passion to turn into action, it's very humbling and it's so amazing. And, our generation is so, as you mentioned, goal oriented, but we're also so empathetic and we're like, we don't take things laying down. Like we really, like when we see injustice, our generation has done such a good job at like standing up against it and saying like, just because this is the way that things used to be doesn't mean this is the world that we want to live in. So we're going to rebuild it in an image that's fair and equal and like empathetic to everyone, I think. And that's what gives me hope through all of this.
Absolutely. I think, there's a lot of other older generations that kind of poop on Gen Z and the one above it as well, but it's a very proactive generation that is taking responsibility for having a voice and using it and encouraging others to use their voice as well. And it's a really cool thing to be a part of.
Yeah, absolutely. And for as much as like the older generations sometimes like shit on our generation, like they always need us when they need to plug in something
My
or to find a
landlord used to
file.
do that, and I'm like, honey, like, you're my landlord. Like, don't.
Yeah. And it's like you want to talk shit on Gen Z until you need help like finding a file.
Exactly. I mean, I think that being said too, Gen Z is very passionate and there's a lot of oomph from Gen Z. So I think learning to kind of smooth that out and, yeah, smooth out the edges as well. We're getting
Yeah.
there.
Oh,
Everyone's
absolutely.
getting there.
I mean, and that's kind of what, and I'm not just saying this because, Teen Vogue pays me, but I mean, that's in itself kind of the spirit of Teen Vogue. It really looked at young people as like adults, like they're like, you're not just kids, you're people with thoughts and dreams and like agency, and we want to give you a platform and talk about the issues that matter to us. And I mean, that's why I loved writing for Teen Vogue because I found that the readers were so passionate, along with like all the editors and everyone that I've um, been fortunate enough to be connected with through Teen Vogue, like you.
Well, youth is so important. This is when people are finding what they believe in and growing up. And it's a time of the life where people are like sponges right now. And if we can give more life to positive situations and, sorry, there was a fly, be a generation that does that, like that's awesome. Also, wait, hi Madison. I see Madison, one of my best friends popped on here. She was
Oh.
on Nancy Drew and she's my best friend.
Um, okay, so we have that's a perfect segue into what what was the difference between shooting Nancy Drew and the half of it?
Wow, complete difference. Well, Ellie Chu is a much more quiet character, so I feel like I did not do a lot of talking on set. When I did the half of it. It was a much more intimate, quiet situation where, I mean, it was like film. Film's kind of a much slower speed, and the character was just completely different. She was a very small town girl who had never really experienced anything in her life and was just coming to realizations. And for, hi Diana, it's my other friend. And for George Fan, like she has actually been through a lot, and she's much older than Ellie Chu and much more exposed to different things, and in a supernatural world too. So it's like George Fan's over here like fighting ghosts and like trying to prove herself to older men, and Ellie Chu was literally just struggling to figure out like whether she likes girls or not. And they're just in completely different worlds. But I love both of those characters so much. In ways I kind of feel like George Fan. No, I was gonna say like George Fan and Ellie would become friends, but I feel like that's like way in their 30s.
Mm, that's fair. I don't know. Watching Ellie, flirt. Granted, she is flirting through Paul. It was just so endearing and so wholesome because, like, and I think even you mentioned this, like, she's someone who knows a lot and she's so educated. but to have that very human moment of like, oh my gosh, she's walking this way. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? It's just, it was so, it brought me back to like, I mean, it brought me back to my own days of high school.
Oh my God, high school. I loved high school. I mean, I did home is at like 20%. Whoops. Um, oh, I remember in high school, I would have a crush on a guy, and I would like have my friend like call my name from across the room, and they'd be like, Leah, and I'd be like, what? Like, and just like such dumb stuff in high school that I thought worked. I think it kind of worked.
I I mean, honestly, yeah, thinking back to flirting in high school is so wild. I remember like talking with a guy that you like on like Facebook Messenger and that being like a big deal. And just like the random of like, oh my gosh, like is he gonna sit next to me at lunch and
Yeah, or like,
everything?
am I gonna see him before second period and be like, sup, Dylan?
Yeah. Or like what is he gonna or like what is he gonna write in my yearbook or like just
Yes,
like stuff like that.
hags.
The
Have a good
year
summer. Shut up. Like, don't write me
can't wait to hang
hags.
out. We're not gonna hang out.
Yeah, yeah, no, we're not. Have a great summer. Shut
No.
up.
Oh my gosh. I mean, what is something, and I love this question because I think it's something that I like to ask a lot of people I interview, but like, what is something that you would say to your younger self, like to a younger Leah in high school?
I think I would say to my younger self, like, really cherish those good relationships in your life and just take it easy and like shut up. Like, just like slow down and be patient and wait for the magic to happen. I think part of growing up is letting yourself feel those uncomfortable feelings and knowing that you're not alone and you're not like some princess in this lonely castle. Like everyone is here with you and everything is heightened, but just like enjoy it. I remember in high school trying so hard to be something that I wasn't as well. And looking back, it's just like, no, like if I just been what I was now, I would have attracted the crowd that was meant to be the crowd that I was supposed to hang out with, rather than trying to
Hmm.
like push my boobs up or like wear like a lot of makeup and then like one day like try to be something else. And I would just tell myself like be yourself, like you'll find your crowd.
No. But I mean, like to your younger self's uh, defense, it's hard to know who you are at that age. I always compare it to like we're like constantly trying on different identities to see what fits. And it's like embarrassing.
Absolutely.
And it's
And
like
that's what growing
embarrassing
up
in itself.
is. That's why when we look in our yearbooks, you're like, wow, I looked like crap in seventh grade. I looked bomb in eighth grade. Wow, I was killing it in senior year. What happened in freshman year? Because like we find what works for us and that's who we end up becoming at like what, like 25,
Yeah. And I think, if we have any high schoolers or like younger people watching this, I remember like in high school, like every mistake felt so monumental, right? Like everything was just so
Oh,
heightened. Like it was
it was
always going to be it
everything.
was the end of the world, like every
I
Tuesday.
was like, Carly, Elise just told Manny my secret. I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Or
just
it's
like,
like, oh my gosh, Greg doesn't like me back. What am I going to do?
you're
And
like,
it's
Greg
like,
doesn't like
you'll
me
be fine.
back. Mom, I'm not going to school. I'm just not
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
school.
The number of times I've like I tried to like fake sick and it's like I don't feel well.
Yeah, like,
And
nice
everyone,
try. Your mom's
yeah,
like, yeah, you're going to school.
yeah. But I mean, I always and something that I've been thinking about a lot is like I think if you stay open to the stuff that you're passionate about, if you let yourself just give yourself room to grow, you will become the person that you're always meant to be. And like, the things that we lose will come back to us, love will come back to us, and it's just and it'll be fine. I know that's a sentiment that's like hard to believe in the moment, but most of the things in our life will turn out to be fine. And it's like really remembering to hold on to that.
As long as you hold
Definitely.
on to those pieces of yourself. That's such a beautiful thing to say. Alice kind of said something similar to the people who are in the LGBTQ community, like struggling with coming out, like holding on to that voice that is true in yourself, whether you're LGBTQ or just someone who is coming of age and just struggling in high school, like holding on to what makes you happy. Ultimately, like things will fall into place, like once your
Yeah.
life kind of starts to follow suit in what you find to be your passion.
Yeah. And you touch on this, but like finding good people to surround yourself by, That I think honestly makes all the difference.
Set a bar. You want the Pauls and the Astors in your life. Like, screw the Trigs. Like, you don't
Find
need.
yourself a Paul.
You ain't got
That's what
no
you need.
time for Trig. Like, life's too short for the Trigs of the world. Like, truly.
Yeah. And like the Pauls are
Oh, Meredith. She's like, amen.
She's like,
Amen.
I'm now listening to this. But yeah, I mean, I remember feeling lonely in high school because I think, like you, I didn't know who I was. I was constantly putting on this air of like, this is who I want to be. That's not necessarily me. And I think I attracted people who wasn't the best for me. And I think so many of that just happens throughout life. But since growing up, I'm able to find people who really support me and who love me and lift me up. And I hope that you've been able to find that as well.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I feel like in high school too, it's like you have the person you think you want to be, and then you have the person that you actually are. And
Yeah.
you're striving so hard to be the person that you think you are, have to be, that you end up hanging out with people that maybe like are not your closest tribe. And then
Yeah.
finally you find who you are, and then all like kind of settles into place. But like that's definitely after like a couple stumbling blocks for
Yeah.
sure.
That's kind of actually that's why I love what Alex did with Aster is that she didn't make her into like this unapproachable, untouchable, like cool girl. She made someone who's very much her own character. Like outside of her relationship with Allie, like her as a character is just so independent and so full of life, and just like she really was able to stand on her own. And I think that also
Yeah.
brings it to Alexis's credit is that she was able to bring her to life and just like make her into like such a beautiful real person. And she's not like the dream girl or like like the aspirational girl to
Totally.
get. She was just her own person that was just phenomenal.
And I think like Alexis too just brings so much truth to that character, because she as well is like this beautiful, drop dead gorgeous girl who also has such rich depth to her as well. And she, like, on the surface would seem like a pretty girl just like Aster, but she's also multi-layered, which I feel like she brought into Aster perfectly, with all the stuff that Aster dealt with her family, and just having to live up to all of her expectations, yet again being like kind of roped into these stereotypical race bubbles, and dealing with her own stuff as well. Alexis was really awesome with that.
And like I don't think she's watching this, but I hope she's having a great birthday. I've seen like a lot of like happy birthday Alexis comments in here, which is so sweet.
Sweet
But
angel.
well, I think our hour is almost up. It feels like we've been talking for only 15 minutes.
Hour's almost up. My phone might die, so that might be the cutoff, but
Yeah.
we can still talk for a little bit.
Yeah. How much time do we have? Because I think it kicks us off after an hour.
I'm not sure. I mean, we're on at 4:08. We started like at 3.
Yeah. Okay.
We made it.
We'll just keep talking until Instagram says bye.
Thanks, Instagram.
But I mean, what are you going to do the second we get out of quarantine? Like, what is something that you're just like, I can't wait to do this, just counting down minutes?
Okay, if it's like totally completely safe and able for me to do, I'm gonna go hit the gym. After that, I'm gonna see my girlfriends in the park. Like, no doubt about it. Like, not like a big group, but I have like 5 girls that I wouldn't mind seeing either separately or together, where I'm just like, I need to see my girls. They're like my foundation, my bloodline. I love my girls. They're my best friends.
I miss giving people hugs because I am like a
I miss
touchy-feely,
hugs.
affectionate.
I miss slapping people when I'm laughing. Like, I miss the whole kit and caboodle.
What is your love language?
Food and little gifts and good advice. Yeah.
I feel like
I love being like,
give great advice.
Sit down and let's talk to mama. Like, I'm here for you. I know you didn't ask for this, but I'm here for you. Like,
no, I'm coming to you for all the advice from now on.
Yes. Just slide into my inbox at like 2 a.m. I'll be like, yes.
Leah, something
here.
is going on.
I'll be here for you.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. I mean, like, because you have Alice, who you mentioned gives you advice. Like, who's someone else that you would count to for advice?
Alice is so great. I go to my boyfriend for advice a lot too. He is quite literally my best friend, and I feel like he just has such a he's so thoughtful. He's very, very insightful. So anytime I ask for his advice, I'm just like, wow, you really thought that through, like, way better than I did. Thank you.
Critical thinking skills.
Yes. I'm like, baby, this is why I chose you. Like, you're great.
Yeah, a guy who can just like rationally think
A
through
guy who can
things and just
think. I'm
like,
like, ooh,
wow, a concept.
a concept.
Where
So
is he
funny.
teaching classes? Is he offering courses, workshops to other men?
Oh my God, he's such a sweetheart. No,
Is
I
this something
wish.
I can sign other men up for?
He is a sweet angel.
That's amazing. I think I remember we got a lot of comments like, is Leah Lewis married? And I was like, I don't think
Okay, I'm gonna
so.
crack the rumors right now. Everyone thinks we're married. We just happen to have the same last name.
You heard it here
And
first.
you heard it here first, people. News you can use.
Yeah.
We are dating, but we are not married.
How did you guys meet?
He was actually in the audience of a show that I did here in Hollywood. And I just remember going up to him after, and we just like started hanging out. And I was like, "You are a really cool guy." And he moved to Vegas like right after that, and we just kind of kept talking long distance, and we ended up dating, and it's been 4 years now.
I love the way you told that story. Because in my mind I was imagining like the Pokemon bond. It's like I choose you.
I choose you. It was
Which is
weird like that though. He like came to the performance, and I was like, "That I I choose you."
I mean that's what dating is. You just basically pick someone out and you're like, yes, that is the human I'm going to attach myself to.
Yes, and it
And with any luck they'll
worked.
attach me back. Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's such a sweetie.
Do you have any dating advice? I know everyone's in quarantine right now, but we still have feelings,
Some dating
crushes.
advice?
Yeah. What is
I
your dating
think
advice?
some good dating advice is like keep dating until you find the one. I feel like everyone, like, okay, if I wasn't dating my boyfriend right now, it'd be really hard because like ultimately like we're all looking for that one. And dating is not easy. Sometimes it doesn't really go the way that everything is expected. But that's completely okay because I feel like it's just one step closer to finding the person that is going to work out for you. So just like hang in there, guys. Keep dating. You're going to find that person that kind of makes it all worth it,
Yeah.
if that
You're
makes
gonna
any sense.
you're gonna find that person that's gonna make you look back on your other relationships and be like, you know what? This might have been okay, but I'm glad that we didn't work out so I can be present and single to meet this
Absolutely.
person.
And it's not always about romance too. Like I know people really want that in their lives too, but I feel like that's something that can happen really naturally for you if you kind of open up other spaces in your life as well.
Yeah, I mean, like love comes in so many forms, so many
Definitely.
forms, and it's
Definitely,
so
definitely.
abundant. And I think that's something that I'm constantly reminding myself and other people is that like there's so much love in the world, and there's so much love that wants to find you. Just find a way to open yourself up to people who want to be here for you and who want to hold space for you. It may not always be a boyfriend or girlfriend, right? But like there's
Yes.
like I fully believe that the humans have an endless capacity to love, and I hope that's something that everyone gets to experience.
I agree. That was so
Mm-hmm.
beautiful, Sarah.
I'm a diehard romantic. I'm
You're
just
a
like I'm
poet.
some. Thank you. I don't know. I love love, and I love like love stories that aren't even like really romantic in nature. I'm such like just I don't know. I'm an optimist when it
Ugh,
comes
I
to
love love
people finding
too
themselves.
because we
Oh,
all
it's so good.
experience it differently. But like, I feel like every time I read like a powerful love story, I'm like, "Ugh," like we all know what that feels like.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I love it when people just like tell me about the people and like the things that they love. Like it doesn't always have to be romantic. Like I love it when my friends are like, I discovered a passion for this, and I'm just or like I love this new job that I started. Like whenever I hear someone else like talk about just the things that they want to hold space for, it always just warms my heart.
Yeah, because they're experiencing joy, and that's like, I know we really should cherish that anytime we have that.
Yeah, find people who will celebrate your joy with you. This world is just, it's too big and it can be too hard to really go through it alone. So, find those people, hold on to them tight. And, with the internet, I think a lot of people make friends online now. And if you're not able to find that, in real life, like there's definitely people here for you in this space.
I agree.
Yeah. If Ellie had a
Sweet.
Twitter, I'm certain that she wouldn't have felt so lonely.
Oh my God, if Ellie had a
Yeah.
Twitter, I'd follow her. I'd be like,
Yeah. I feel like she would like have some like hot, smart takes.
yeah, I'd be like,
Yeah.
Ellie, drop some knowledge.
Yeah. Start a book club. The Ellie Chi book club.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. What a gal. What a movie. Um, but
I think our time is probably just up, and I know Leah's phone is about to die, probably.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
Ugh, but this was so nice to talk to you. It was so sweet being on here.
I know it's so good to like just finally chat with you face to face. I hope everyone's enjoyed this chat. I hope everyone will watch this movie. I hope everyone will pay attention to what's happening in the world right now and to really just kind of realize that we have so much power within us. It
Yeah.
sometimes feels like we're just one person, but you're a part of a huge community, whether you realize it or not. And there are people here who want to educate you and who want to champion you on. So I encourage just everyone to just kind of like take a reflection and think about like what is my role and what is my contribution to society and just make it a positive one however you can.
Absolutely. And right now, more than ever, your voice is important. And right
Mhm.
now, everyone is banding together to make sure that all communities and all cultures, especially Black people and Asian people, are safe right now.
Yeah,
So use your voices, you guys.
yeah, we have to be here for one another. All right. Well, it was so amazing chatting with you. I hope your walk is nice.
Thank
And yeah,
you.
I'm
It
so
was so
excited for
nice
your
to meet
future.
you on FaceTime. I
I
love
know, I'm so
this.
excited for the day when we can like hang out in real life and to just hug one another and
I
just be there.
know. Thank you, Sarah. This was awesome.
It was so nice chatting with you. Bye, guys.
All right, bye, guys.